have for AWS, we have Hyland doing a demo. Please join us.
Awesome. Good morning, everybody. I was just commenting to my coworker here. I'm actually very impressed with this attendance. I don't know, 15 people with us, so this is impressive. So thank you for coming out. My name is Steve Comer. I'm the Associate Vice President for our Financial Services and Insurance practice at Hyland. Just a quick overview. We're going to do this a little bit different, perhaps from some of the other vendors, especially being day 3 in Vegas. In total anticipation of having lost my voice. We actually have a recorded demo for you guys, and then we'll circle back at the end. But if you don't know who Hyland is a leader in the content services space, focusing a lot on the documents and the data that go alongside your processes, and provide the tools not only for capturing the information, storing the information, but also giving them tools to enable your workforce better automate a lot of your internal processes, and really focus on the content that helps to drive your business to efficiency. So with that, I'll let Steve chime in if I've missed anything, at least as far as the intro. And yes, you have Steve and Steve up here, so we'll make it really easy for you guys. But we'll kick off the video here, walk you through a little bit of the platform and the integration, and then we'll circle back with some additional information at the end of it.
Thanks, Steve. So as Steve mentioned, we're going to be taking a look at a quick video here on the OnBase Accelerator for Guidewire. So OnBase is one of Hyland's content services platforms that we have a pre-built integration with Guidewire Insurance Suite for. And in this demonstration here, we'll take a look at how you can access content stored inside of the OnBase repository directly from within the Guidewire interfaces, upload new content, leveraging the data housed inside of Guidewire to classify those, and then do a little bit of packaging of that information and sharing it out with a third party that may need some of that info. So we'll take a step back, save our voices a little bit more, watch this quick video, and then see if there's any questions at the end.
Sounds like the audio is not playing. Hold, please.
All right. Well, we can narrate this too. You know, we'll be flexible here on the fly. So what we're taking a look at inside of Claim Center on the Documents tab here is the ability for OnBase to replicate out all of the content that is stored within our repository for the adjusters or underwriters to be able to view those files. We can leverage Guidewire's native search capabilities. So here we're searching for all of the claim photos associated to our claim. And then with the OnBase integration, we have the ability to expose those documents as thumbnails to those adjusters. So if you've got a large claim file with 10, 100, 1,000 photos, and you want to be able to find that one right where the two bumpers intersected, we can leverage those thumbnails and quickly view that document, so that individual doesn't have to go through and open up every single file one by one to see what they're looking for. Now, OnBase also has the ability to go ahead and create activities based on documents that come into the system. So if we have something of high importance, such as a medical bill or an estimate that we need somebody to get attention on, as soon as that document comes into OnBase, we can alert Guidewire through the activity codes to create an activity that is assigned to that proper underwriter or to that adjuster who is working that case. On the left-hand side, you see all of the Guidewire information, the priorities, the due dates, who that's assigned to. But we're now going to go ahead and click on that link, and that's going to take us directly into that document that generated that activity. In this case, it's a medical bill that we wanted to go ahead and review. Here we can see inside of OnBase the annotations, highlights or markups on those files. And in just a second, we'll also be able to see any of the related content to this medical bill too. I don't know about you guys at home, but when I get a bill, I just automatically pay it. For a medical bill, we probably want to do a little bit more research and see the doctor's notes or some of the reports that went along with the procedures that were on that bill. So we can quickly just jump in and see all of those related documents directly from that single bill right there. Next up, we're going to take a look at how we can link to any of these screens within the Guidewire interface Up at the top of the screen there, you can see some green buttons. And those are really shortcuts into the OnBase functionality and trying to extend the capabilities, again, in this case, for that adjuster to be able to find all of the documents associated to a particular exposure. So if we select that Documents button, what's going to happen is we're going to pull back every single document stored within the OnBase repository that's tied to Bo Simpson's BI exposure. Now, because we were on the bodily injury exposure screen inside of Guidewire, we had that information to be able to drive that search to find exactly what we're looking for. So instead of an individual pulling back the entire case file, having to filter their results, dive into those BI documents, we can do a little bit of that pre-sorting for them right off of the bat. And again, here we can see that medical bill that pertained to Bo's injuries stored within the system once again. Now, from these results, you have a number of different ways of filtering and refining those issues. Steve, if you couldn't tell earlier, is pretty direct and to the point, so he has the ability to just type in the word bill and get to that document. Some of our other friends in the back take a more circuitous route and want to drag some of the metadata fields up to the top and group those to get more of a visual representation of how those documents break down. So we can see there that we had the different types of documents, and then we can jump in and see the 3 medical reports that were tagged to that exposure of the claim. And that really provides the ability for all of your users to be able to find a way that works for them to filter and sort and get at the information, no matter whether they want to take that direct route or do more of a choose your own path as to how you find that information. Now, the next thing we'll take a look at, if I remember the video, is bringing in new content into the system. Now, however your organization receives content, OnBase has a way to bring it in to the repository. Here we're going to take a look at emails being ingested into the system, but if you're still scanning in a mailroom or you get data feeds from another system like Smart Communications that needs to be stored within the system, OnBase has a number of import methodologies to be able to accept that content, tag it to the claim or policy or account, and store it within the repository. Here, we can see that we're going to import the email and the demand letter into the OnBase repository. On the right-hand side of the screen, we're first looking at the message, and then we can do a little bit of classification. Now, some of this can be automated if you have specific email inboxes that we want to monitor, say claims at Hyland.com or new policy submissions at Hyland.com. And we can make some assumptions based upon what that content would be at that point. But here we'll just go ahead and tag this email as a correspondence document, put in our claim number, and then we can do a live lookup out to Guidewire so that user, instead of having to type in all of the other metadata that's on the screen there, can pull back a list of the exposures that are open for that claim inside of Guidewire Claim Center. You can select one or many. In this case, this is tied just to the bodily injury exposure, so we'll go ahead and only select that data set, and when we hit OK, on the right-hand side of the screen, we'll see a lot of that information has now been filled in from Guidewire. And this is going to help your users and the system quickly expedite that ingestion and tagging of those documents, but then also, leverage that clean, consistent data that's already inside of Guidewire. There's no reason for a user to have to manually enter that. If Guidewire is the system of record, we can just go out and pull in all of that other information to tag those documents. So we can go ahead and upload that email message itself into the system, and that document would then immediately be available for any individual who has the permissions to view that content in the system, whether that's broken out by the type of document or the exposures or claims that individual is working. And then we can move on to that demand letter. In this case, we'll just quickly tag it as a legal document in the system. Again, tie it to that bodily injury exposure, and then give it a quick subtype of demand letter. And we can see whoever was recording this demo, myself, didn't tag that correctly. But we'll then bring that into the system, and we have another document that's now been added as part of the claim file. So the last thing that we've got in this recording here is some of the outbound communication. When it comes to, looks like we're going to go back in and take a look at those documents. So again, just to show that those documents came into the system, we'll be able to come in and we can search for that demand letter by typing in that subtype legal, as that's how we tagged it this time, and be able to immediately see that document that was uploaded into the system when the video was recorded, be able to interact with that, again, annotate, work on that document directly from the system there. For this demo, it looks like we've got 3 seconds left in the recording, so we did not touch on any of the outbound communication, but being able to package up all of those documents as well. If we needed to provide a settlement package